quickly. So this was in all the boxes. Just going through those boxes, and I found this, and I'd forgotten. This is kind of how I did 20. This was what I was going to use to write Dark Age of Man, rewrite Dark Age of Man. This is kind of interesting. This was my workbook. So I did 2161 random adventure seed ideas right here. Right, the IDW and IAA. This was for In Darkest Warrens and Astounding Interplanetary Adventures. Use Naive Narrator, GM Seed for games. Right, so this is interesting. I don't know what I was up to here. I may have been thinking what my plans were, what I was going to do. Naive Narrator best practice. So these are the things, these were notes for me how to do this. Because, remember, I'd never done Naive Narrator, and I think I was trying to make notes for me how to do this and be consistent for my first game using Naive Narrator. Use both ground start and random seed. Yep, see? So I was reminding, these were notes to remind myself how to do this thing and not regress to something else that I normally would do. Habits, right? We regress to our habits, and my goal was to really stick to this. Look at this. And then we got 2061 Reset, Wild West Post-Op Epoch, Mad Max meets Gunsmoke, Ammo Food. So this was when I was preparing 2061 for Dell's birthday. I wanted 2061's world to be a Wild West post-ecop Mad Max meets Gunsmoke. So I was coming up with ideas for what I was going to run for Dell's his 50th birthday. And of course we used Modern Age for that. And then I started taking notes on Dark Age of OSR. It was going to be D20. And matter of fact, the first version I ever completed, I actually had pretty much written the whole darn character gen and all that, and that was the first version I think that I sent to Anthony Boyd to take a gander at, and then he made some comment about, well, remember the OGL license, you're going to want to look at all that stuff, and I went, why am I making another D20 OSR? I should make something, and that's when Dell and I were looking at turning my D12 Dragon Slayer into Dark Age of, and then of course his idea for the sliding scale. But look, these are all, I literally started writing Dark Age of OSR. Can you believe it? And I was writing it all in here. This was my workbook before I started, and then I think I typed all this up, and I think I was working on getting the world written up when I asked Anthony to look at that version. Probably Anthony went, I'm not going to read this nonsense. It was a mess. And then, of course, at some point I said, why am I writing this in the book when I'm going to have to type it? I think at some point I stopped writing the rules in this book. Look, and then I got how to creature example, Wolfpack, and how the creatures would look in my game. The Gallo. Interesting. Geez, it's just amazing why I chose this old hardback sketchbook to write in. Oh, it's my wife's old sketchbook, so there's some old stuff my wife did. So I must have just grabbed this off my wife's. This was literally, she started painting 25 years ago. This was the first sketchbook I bought her so she could start learning. So this is, my gosh. I didn't realize I grabbed her old sketchbook. Yeah, these are all things. There's our first home. 20-something years ago, we were living in a home there. She sketched our backyard fence. That was a dog. I did that. You can tell the difference. That's my work. That was Washita, our dog. You can see the difference between my wife and my crap. Look at that. Yeah, interesting. Sorry, you people don't. I know you guys don't really. And then look, D6 football, score by quarter. That is not mine. D6 football. Why I did this, I don't know. I must have used this to travel or something. I was going to travel maybe when we went on vacation. D6 football is so pen and paper football is a D20 football game by John M. Stater. But in the very first pages of that rule book, he talks about the first thing he ever invented was D6 football back in the 80s when he was a kid on a vacation. And so I wrote it all down here to do the same. When I was going to be traveling, I thought, I'm going to write just this simple thing down. I could play games in a hotel room or whatever, and keep a notebook of my results. So this is not my invention. This was John M. Stater's, transcribed out of his pen and paper book. Yeah, see, and here's I had a Football America League. I can't remember if I actually played any games. I don't think I did. Oh, I did. I started. I ended up doing too much on the, yeah, see, I had actually started. Oh, 2020. So this was probably, I don't know when I did this. This would have had to have been, 2020. So I got the first couple of weeks done. Yep, and then look, I wrote it down on an index card so I wouldn't have to keep flipping back and forth to the front. Wow, okay, that's too much. Nobody wants to see all this. Bye-bye.